Hello and welcome to this, your Gemini September 2025 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel St. James, clairvoyant. Well, this month, to help us in working out what is going to be happening in your life and how you're going to be feeling, we have a deck called the William Blake deck. Now, do you know, you never see this around anywhere. I don't know why. William Blake was an Englishman. He probably did most of his best work around the year 1800 in England, of course. He was a great poet, a very good painter, and like most artists, during his period of life, he was well ahead of his time, and so he was thought to be crazy. And as is so often the case with artists as well, it wasn't until after he was dead that people looked into his work and thought, gee, there's something really valuable here, particularly in his poetry, which has got a lot of mysticism in it as well. So there may be some mystical things popping up, you never know. Now, as a clairvoyant, you know I can provide a clairvoyant reading to you wherever you are in the world. The details are in the description, and they are charged for. Now, there's another thing which is not charged for, and it is provided by me to you for free, and that is the gift of healing, which comes through me and not from me, as you would understand. You might have some emotional troubles. You might be at your wit's end with something. Grief, sorrow, loss, some physical issues, things to do with your business, perhaps. Now, there are no video advertisements breaking their way into this, and so you get to enjoy the content without any interruptions. So let's see what there is in store for you, shall we? And what's this? The Seven of Painting. Now, Les, there is eternity. Eternity, a wonderful concept. There is the Nine of Science. Here is what? The Six of Poetry. You see, poetry, we've got science, poetry, and painting. What might be going on in here somewhere for you? And it is the Man of Science. Well, why don't you come and sit down here next to me? I'll also bring the camera around so that everybody else can see. And together we'll look at these images and see what they reflect of the cosmic energies that are affecting you while I do the reading for you. I unmistakably get a real sense of divine presence and help all around you this month, because there are some self-doubts and some negative thoughts that are going to be cured, and you'll be acting like the wind storm, great powers of intellect, and you do find success and victory, notwithstanding these temporary self-doubts. But I can't help but go past this first, which you never really see in tarot decks. This card is 0-0. This thing, I suppose, is Jacob's ladder, as is found in that first book of the Christian Old Testament in Genesis. This thing here, unmistakably for me, refers to that divine presence that I just referred to. Now, sometimes you think that there are obstacles in your way, or you have thoughts about yourself which are not at all helpful. And we live in an era, don't we, which is very fragile. We're on Instagram 24/7, no constant electronic communication. It brings a very fragile life, and the fragility of your life, this is saying, is this, that you don't believe that there is a chance for redemption, for a hand to raise you up, for an embrace to save you, to forgive you, and to pick you up, to flood you with infinite, indulgent love, and put you back on your feet, and to extend compassion and strength to you. But there is such a hand. And then we have here this sign of eternity. Look, you are beautiful or handsome, as the case may be. Now, what is beauty? Beauty is eternity, gazing at itself in a mirror. But you are eternity, and you are the mirror. And this question of time comes in here, particularly time now where you must live each day as if it is your last, but plan as if you will live forever. Act, live, for the present is the point at which time touches eternity. Now, these people in here, I know I said I wouldn't talk about the art, but I'm looking at these people here. Look, this is also saying to you that remember that every time that you do a good deed, you shine the light a little farther into the dark. And the thing is, when you are gone, that light is going to keep shining on, pushing the shadows back. And you can live eternity each day, because really, in the external scheme of things, shining moments are as brief as the twinkling of an eye, yet such twinklings are what eternity is made of. Moments when you can say, I love you, I'm proud of you, I forgive you, I'm grateful for you. That's really what eternity is made of. Invisible, imperishable, great things like that. But it is also saying that, look, what is eternity? If we were to ask ourselves, we see time as being past, present, and future, the present being now. When is now? There never is a moment when we can say, this is now. And if the future and the past are defined in their relationship to when is now, it's all now. You are here and it is demanding action for you, not delay or stagnation or wallowing around with bad thoughts which are being taken away. How can I put this in a story form, perhaps, that might illustrate it? Well, maybe like this. It's about about a foghorn? That sound, that horn that emanates from ships when there's fog, or from lighthouses. Well, one day, a long, long time ago, once upon a time, a man walked along and stood in the sound of the ocean on a cold, sunless shore and said, we need a voice to call across the water, to warn ships. I'll make one. I'll make a voice like all of time and all of the fog that ever was. I'll make a voice that is like an empty bed beside you all night long, and like an empty house when you open the door, and like trees in autumn with no leaves. A sound like the birds flying south crying, and a sound like November wind. And the sea on the hard, cold shore. I'll make a sound that is so alone that no one can miss it, and whoever hears it will weep in their souls, and their fireplaces will seem warmer, and being inside will seem better to all who hear it in all of those distant towns. I will make a sound and a machine, and they'll call it a foghorn, and whoever hears it will know the sadness of eternity and the briefness of life. So action, 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 action. Live every single day. And don't be consumed by self-doubt is what I'm getting from this. Now, astrologically, what's going on? Why am I getting that feeling here? Because it's Saturn in the third decan of Taurus, the 11th to the 20th of May. Look, Saturn, as you know, is slow-moving, and it's a sort of a restrictive energy, whereas Taurus is that very lumbering, fixed sign of Earth represented by the bull. And put them together, Saturn and that lumbering bull, and you get a feeling of stagnation, working beneath your ability, hesitation, fear of making mistakes might be touching all of your different parts of life, particularly business, financial situations, even your physical conditions or health. You see apparently insurmountable obstacles in front of you and believe that you will not be able to jump these hurdles with the first try. And as a result, there are some terrifying images which come up, which try to frighten you into inactivity and frighten you into not taking action. Take action. Make decisions. Whatever you do, it can always be fixed up. And again, I know I said I wouldn't get into the art here, but I just can't help getting from this picture here that what we have, look, the moon here, I think, symbolizes female menstruation, a time of cleansing and purification. There's another figure of a female down here, really, isn't there? And I think what this is saying here is that this is actually quite a good period of creative growth and gestation for you, you know? There's a new sense of opening yourself up to whatever comes, and this is what's coming from here, because you are putting away your self-doubts. Her head is leaning forward with the thoughts of the aggravations that she imagines are around her. And yet her hands put up like that, they do show an attitude of patience and endurance, don't they? But here is time pulling the moon with these three stars here. And that figure pulling in that harness is working to change the situation around you. It's as if these stars also are like magic wands, releasing power in your favor in the situation, which is going to bring new freedom of action, maybe following a stage of testing and delay, which has been brought about by Saturn. Now, of course, you know, in my readings, all these cards all interact with each other, and this is pouring the knowledge into you that the reason why you doubt yourself so much is that you have never actually seen yourself in action. You have never seen yourself breaking limits. You have never seen yourself standing in the spotlight and getting cheered by the audience. Well, this is about looking at your fears, and I think that this is connected with this as well by the time we get to it. Speaking of that spotlight that you're standing in, by spotlighting your fears, you can conquer them and move past them. So address each fear head on, and you'll get a newfound focus and clarity. Remember, always ask yourself, what do I want? Now, I see this figure here. When you can write down in one sentence, in tangible words, what you want, not just love, happiness, but this is the tangible goal that I'm aiming to get at, your head will come upright, because 85% or more of the noise around you is just no longer going to matter to you because it's not pushing you towards your goal. And remember always, of course, that whenever you find yourself doubting whether you can face another battle, simply remember the doubts that you had in the past and how difficult the future battles seemed to be then. Then you look at where you are now and see everything you've faced, all the battles you've won. All of them had a common element. You overcame fear rather than it overcoming you. Self-doubt? Yeah, okay, people have self-doubts. We all do from time to time. Maybe. But you refused to let them stop you. So do the same again. There is, I think, sometimes with you, because you're so intelligent, there is, look, you know the voice inside your head that taunts you whenever you try to be optimistic? It criticizes you when things get tough. It moans and whines and repeats negative sayings like, "You can't do it, you'll never be loved, you're going to look stupid." Well, let's call that voice self-doubt. And every negative thought you've ever had about yourself came from self-doubt. And it's feeding into this, I can see here. Whenever you focus on what self-doubt says, you activate the feelings that those thoughts created in you. When you remember and dwell on these negative thoughts, self-doubt strips you of your confidence. Self-doubt is like a manipulative man. It tries to bring you down and steal your happiness. It wants to leave you scared and insecure. The only way to silence self-doubt is by consciously activating, saying, programming yourself with another thought. In other words, removing the negative thought and replacing it with another thought. And I think what this wants to do is talk about thoughts with you. As you're going to come to this month, again, you're going to forgive me, I can't help but look at this. Look, this is Mars in Gemini, and the one-pointed, aggressive nature of Mars doesn't really sit all that well with your sign. And you're very intelligent and you're very good with words. And you can use words as weapons, can't you? And you know your Achilles heel better than anybody else, and you use words against yourself. Now, sitting down here, you might imagine that this is you, shrinking away from expected blows. Well, I think that these are projections of your fears that arise from, a lot of time, perfectionism, or things that have happened to you in the past, things that have affected you deeply and maybe get you to question who you really are. These can also relate to guilt and can cause you to hide from the innocent joy that life has, or to withdraw from what you think are the insurmountable obstacles that the world brings up to everybody. You're not alone in this, you know. You're not alone. This is almost a sense of the mind being tormented by its own demons. But this woman and the child above, they are symbols of acceptance and hope. She has that earthy green color here, which is the spirit of love and forgiveness. And I think that the child that she is reaching out for here, that is this skeleton's pure soul, who is looking at its, and this child is looking at its alter ego, in a sense. Now, this is saying that regeneration is coming to you when you forgive not only other people, but particularly yourself. Now, just as you are the result of a thought of the beloved is reminding you in this situation that everything begins with your thoughts. Thoughts control your feelings. Feelings control your behaviors and actions. And then you justify it all about. Justify everything by how you think about things. Now, what is a thought? A thought, look at this word here, painting. A thought is a painting which you create. No one gives you one. You created the thought. And poetry is about words, and you put the words around the thought to describe it. And then you let it come into you. Now, a lot of these negative thoughts that are coming around and around the loop, because this is a cycle of returns, this 9, and it's also to deal with the subconscious. A lot of this stuff could have happened from childhood, you know. What this is saying is that forget all the stuff from childhood that has tried to program you in a way which is not consistent with your divine self. You are a child of the beloved. And this is saying to you, remember, whenever a thought or a fear comes, replace it, as this was saying, with the words, I am good enough. I always have been good enough. I always will be good enough. I am lovable. I always have been lovable. I always will be lovable. I am important. I matter. I am the most beautiful woman in wherever you are. And you can also go easy on yourself by saying that, looking back, looking at time here, going back into the past and saying, that used to be me, but that's not me anymore because I am good enough, I am lovable, I'm important, I matter, I'm beautiful. Continue programming it. The mind, this is talk about here, loves the present tense and it loves repetition. Continue to repeat. Program yourself. Put the new ideas into that marvelous brain of yours. And when a negative thought comes, and very often they come, you're lying almost on a bed or on the floor and they get dropped on you like bombs from a plane above and you feel powerless to them, metaphorically stand up and say, okay, thought, describe yourself to me. Describe yourself to me. And ask it 2 questions. What value are you bringing to my life? And how are you behaving? Well, it's behaving like a juvenile delinquent with a can of spray paint, writing graffiti in your head. And it's not bringing any value to your life. But what you do when you ask the questions to the thought like that is you are forcing the thought to justify itself to you. When you poke it in the chest, you'll find it's an empty shirt. The most powerful words that you will ever hear in your life are the words that you tell yourself. So be your own cheerleader. And when that thought comes, you say, I do not accept you into me. You don't belong in me because I am good enough, I am lovable, I'm important, I'm beautiful, I'm here for a purpose, I matter. And it will go away. Now, you can't go around thinking that they're always going to disappear, but put a place inside yourself, which is a prison, and lock it away in a prison and say, you belong in this prison and you're not coming out into my life because you're not bringing any value to it. And you'll find that those negative thoughts and those words, be your own cheerleader. Say to yourself several times daily those things that I've just spoken of. Now, this is dripping in Gemini energy here. I think, you are going to be goal-oriented, which is what this is saying, ambitious. You'll have great intellectual powers, probably a lot of passion here, very active, very clever, very skillful, fierce and courageous. You get over those things from the past. You will be like the windstorm, the violent power of motion applied. And I see you getting, I'm going to move through this pretty quickly now because of your time, getting a great insight into a problem and working quickly to set goals without letting anything get in the way. It could be quite a restless period too. It's a time to use your intellectual abilities here. Don't use your emotional abilities to get the best things done. You're in a really good position now to get plans together, to set goals and bring them to fruition, but you need to know what your goal is. But success is assured because here we have, if I'm not mistaken, what else is around here? It's the Sun in Leo. Well, that's great because the Sun is the ruler of Leo. So you have victory, success, clarity at last, breakthrough, the unification of your energies. You're going to feel inspired to continue. Remember this. Brick walls are not there to stop you. They are there to get you to work out how badly you want something. Then you just break through it, go over it, go around it. The brick walls are there for other people. Now, Jupiter, the planet of luck and expansion, is merging with the creativity of Leo, so all of your goals now can be easily reached. Victory, success. What a fantastic spread of cards for you. It made so much better for you.
Well, I really enjoyed your company during that, and I'm sure that you will have enjoyed the reading as much as I did providing it to you. Now, unless I see you in the meantime, either for a clairvoyant reading or for a healing, then I'll see you here again next month. And until then, though, remember one thing, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. And until then, it's bye for now.